up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Today we're in Texas for the week and we're about to work on some mini bikes. So this right here is my unknown year model Baja Warrior 200 that I custom built and kind of didn't really custom build, but I changed up a few things and put up. All right, welcome back everybody. So I recorded that first clip, had some technical difficulties with my phone, so I didn't get to record a bunch, but I'm gonna kind of show you what we got going on, and then we'll show y'all finishing this thing up and hopefully riding it today. So without further ado, this is a Tillotson Racing 212. There's nothing wrong with it. It ran great. It did what it was supposed to do for several years and never had an issue out of it. And the little mini bike was pretty quick. I could do wheelies, and you can see the rear fender is rolled over where I took it over too far, and it did awesome for a long time, and it still does awesome. But it was basically stock. It just had a new jet in the carburetor, an exhaust pipe, and the air filter adapter, so you could run like a racing style air filter. But this one that I put on, we did a few upgrades. For starters, this motor has a billet rod. It has a flat top piston. It has a billet flywheel. It has 22-pound valve springs, a billet valve cover, which doesn't really help the performance, but it looks cool. And then I also got a 22mm Mikuni style carburetor and a filter that I actually already broke and I have to fix today. So this should be a significant power increase over that Tillotson, which was mostly stock. And then I also got a Juggernaut driver for my torque converter. So this should be a significant speed increase on this bike. It should be a little bit of a hot rod now and do way better wheelies. So today what I want to focus on is putting a roller here to keep the chain from rubbing here, or, and this is probably the more likely thing, mount this higher, raise it up. I'm gonna get some square tubing with holes in it and get longer bolts and just mount this motor a little bit higher to keep my wheel from hitting there. Not my wheel. This is a chain, not a wheel, but to keep my chain from hitting there on the frame. And then we're gonna see what we can get going. These tires hold air for about a day, so I'm gonna be able to air them up and ride with it like this. But I also ordered some street style tires for this because I'm gonna do some street riding with it after we get this thing dialed in. But that's what we're working on. So I don't know, I gotta go do some running around. I'm gonna go pick up some stuff, parts for this, and then we can get her going. She's still ugly. I love this thing. This is my OG mini bike. It's the first one I ever built, first one I ever rode. You saw the chopper that I'm building now, and I think that Tillotson is gonna go on that bike. It's gonna go on the little custom mini chopper that I've been building on the channel, and we'll have a little bit about that too. So right now I'm about to fix that air filter, and then I'm probably gonna take off. I gotta go buy some clothes. I lost my luggage last weekend when I was gone to the UK for the week. They lost my luggage, so I gotta go file a claim, and I also gotta go buy new clothing to replace what was in there, and it was a lot. And then after that, I'm gonna go get some spacers, get some bolts, get this bad boy bolted up, and hopefully I can get this thing started, see if I can tune on the carb. I don't know if I'll have to tune it or if you even can, but see if I can't get this thing running right and go do some wheelies and see how this thing runs. All right, got the goods. Spent too much money, as always, but now we should be able to get this thing put together and get the first ride out, see how it runs. Check it out. All right, so I made some spacers for mine. My wife left with my workbench, but Trailer Trash Pops over here getting his put together. I had to wiggle it a little bit to get it to slide. This is a super cool frame. This thing's tiny, but it was made for the bigger motor like this. That should be good, because then we can take that down to tighten that chain.
I'm just making sure it's running straight.
May just have to ride it, see if it throws the chain or anything.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna ride it.
Bet you want to do a wheelie.
Days.
Do wheelies like you used to on that 3-wheeler.
That'd be cool.
We also got some new springs. I don't know where they are, but we got new struts to replace these since these are all rusty and dirty looking. All right, first mini bike, Dad. I guess probably not first ever, huh? 200 years old. We got her done. She looks stock. She has stock. We just got the governor tied back on this one, but all the throttles, everything works like it should. Got the chain on, got the chain tied. It's ready for oil and gas lanes, ready to ride. So we're about to move it, get mine thrown up here and get that engine spaced up and get it set up too. I got to change out my front bearings and raise that motor up and get it all tightened down. So we're gonna do that. Maybe we'll get our first rides. Well, I got abandoned by all my help for the Asian buffet. I got hungry. It's lunchtime. I wasn't hungry, so I stayed. Finished this, but this is the idea. I just took these pieces of aluminum square tubing, drilled holes in them. I don't have the bolts in the back yet, but you can see it sitting up on it. And then what that does for me is keeps this chain off of here. There's a little gap there now. So that keeps this from rubbing on, it's not really a swing arm because it's solid mounted, but whatever this rear section is, it keeps it from rubbing on there. And will make, hopefully my chain lasts a little longer. So I gotta finish doing that, hooking that up. I got the fuel line ran, get that hooked up. Throttle's already hooked up. I've got to make sure my brakes are working, and I've got to change out this bearing on this side of this wheel. You can see it's missing basically. So hopefully I have time to do that. Then I got to pour oil in it, get some gas in it. First ride. I may have to tune on it, see if I can get it to run right. I've never had a lot of luck with these Mikuni style carburetors. We'll see. Hopefully it goes a little better than the other times that I've tried it. So wish me luck. Runs good. Lost the chain, I bet. Boy, we got a river right there. All right, so we had to change plans. This motor, I don't know anything about it, and we never could really get it to act right. It's pretty sporadic. It runs really good for a second, and then it stops, and then it won't rev up, and then it'll rev really high, and it never was very fast. So we're pulling that back off. We're gonna put the Tillotson back on, but we're gonna put the Juggernaut and this new VM22 carburetor on that one, because I know that that engine runs good. So we're gonna put all this on that, and then see if that'll let me have this thing running good enough to tune that carburetor. And then after I tune that, go for a ride and see how it improved. And if it didn't improve, we'll swap the carburetors back out. And if it's still not any faster, we'll swap the drivers back out. So that's what we're working on now. I've got the tank loose, but it's too high to get off. So I've got the 2 front bolts out. I'm about to take the 2 back bolts out and pull this motor off, and then swap the parts over to that one and then put that on here. Well, folks, I'll be honest. I got a little more carried away than I expected to with this mini bike. When I was driving this thing, it felt kind of wonky. The reason is none of that's straight. So I got to fix that. However, I did put my old motor back on this with the new carburetor, and I'll just say it fixed the problem. Don't mind my feet in that video. However, I did fix it. I had a bunch of people out here. I haven't been recording. They've all been out here talking to me while I was working and stuff. So I got that fixed. That tells me that this motor just has something not vibing well with it because it wouldn't run. And that's the old Tillotson. I put the Juggernaut on it, put the new carburetor on it. And she runs really good now. Rode her down the road and everything works good except for the front end. She was a little wonky. You had to have the handlebars turned a little bit to go straight. So now I've got to find a place that has a hammer. I'm 9 hours from home. We got to find somewhere I can work on that. I'll get that all straightened out, put back together, grease up the bearings, and then I should be good to just go ride this thing. We'll see. All right, so I don't know what all I covered while I was in Texas. We are back in Kansas now, and we're gonna go ahead and finish out this mini bike. So I've got the tires. I got street tires for it. Those leak pretty bad, so we're about to pull those off. Put these on, and then I don't know what else, but we're gonna start with the tires. So check it out. The old drum brake is still looking good. We don't use that as much, but we got the tire off. Let's start breaking it down and get the new one put on. Go. Got the street tires on it. Let's go for a little ride. It runs about 40-ish, so that's plenty fast to hurt yourself on it. Street tires are pretty nice. I need to fix this fender, and I need to fix this fender, but it's pretty cool. Anyways, that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And we'll see you on the next one.